people decide to homeschool for so many different reasons. But me personally, the reasons that I decided to homeschool were no-brainers. I think they was no-brainers, but obviously homeschooling is hard, and you got to hear from the naysayers, but you got to hear from the naysayers with anything. So, in regards to the reasons why I decided to homeschool, the first reason was because I just don't trust nobody else with my kids, first of all. And that may sound very overbearing, or that may sound like, come on now, but like, I think that's the best way to put it, because I did have a child in the public school system, and we went through some things because the school just did not understand that this is not just your job. This is my actual child. Like, I know every mama might say this, but I don't play about my kids. So we had a few different situations where my children are a little bit different. And I would say my child, because at the time he was my only child that was in the public school system or had went to daycare or anything. My oldest son, he did not. So he started. Okay, how do I say this? The man didn't want no meat. I was okay with him eating meat, but he got to a point where he really didn't want it. You know, we wasn't gonna force it to him. I didn't want him drinking dairy. I had already made that decision. The school used to give me a hard time when it came to dairy because they said that they were mandated by the state. We were in Illinois at this point. They were mandated by the state to open a milk in front of him every day for lunch. Obviously, I ain't like that. But whatever. That was one thing. Anything else that came about that was like that, they would tell me, you know, that they needed a doctor's note in order to implement it, saying basically what the doctor's saying, that they or that he was allergic or would have a horrible reaction or something like that. But it just didn't make sense to me, because if that's my child and I said this is not what we allow, then I don't understand why it was so hard. But anyway, that was the second thing. Another thing was, first of all, I went to public school. If you went to public school, Chicago public schools, come on now, it was so many different things that if either our parents would talk about or that we would see with ourselves in public school. And it's not that I'm trying to shield my child from seeing things. I am a little bit. But at the same time, first of all, kids is bad. They mean, not all of them. But then you have those teachers that just don't care. Like, I've seen, like, or heard about things with public school systems where the school is trying to be slick, or the people is trying to use the school system to, you know, do certain things. Certain cupcakes they tell you that they're mandated so that the children can go to school. And I don't like, why y'all trying to be, I don't like when people try to be slick, because then I feel like it's in your face. Like, what are you hiding? Or what are you trying to force upon my child? I have different theories about why I think that children today look a lot different than the children back when I was a child, and even why those children look the way they did. I just feel like if you think hard enough about certain things, you'll make certain changes. And one of the changes for me was just to not send my children to public school. Another reason is I feel like my children are my children for a reason. Like, if I had them, I'm their primary teacher, not the teacher at the school system. Even when my son was in school, you know, and he get out of school and he come home, I still got to work with him on the things that he learned in school anyway. So what's the difference? Instead of my child having to get up at the crack of dawn and be all up in school all day with somebody else raising him, because if you at school for 8 hours a day, 5 days out the week, and then you come home, do your homework, eat, do your chores, go to bed, like, in my opinion, he's being raised by strangers, and that's just not, it's just not what I want for them. But anyway, even besides, sorry y'all, even besides those different things, and again, I repeat myself, I'm not trying to bash anyone that send their children to public school or whatever. It's just not for my children, and these are my reasons. I love it for those people that it's for. It's just not for my children. Another reason is because we like to travel. We like to move around a bit, and I know with that's a better situation with a homeschool child, because he's not on anyone else's schedule. They are not on anyone else's schedule. They can move. We can go out of town. We can, if they're sick, I don't have to worry about, okay, he's been sick all week, we're going to use up all his extra days. Well, he's going to be behind when he get back because he had a cold and I didn't want to get these other children sick. We can take the time that we need and just, you know, like life can move the way that it needs to. The best way for me to show my child the world is for me to be his teacher on the way and all the ways around. And, okay, this is my last reason. There were just so many things that I felt like should not be taught in the school system, but is taught in the school system. And so many, like history, I think sometimes history can be taught, most of the time, honestly, history can be taught in a way that is detrimental to the people that it's taught about. Like, I just want my children to learn certain things a certain way and not learn later on down the line that, oh, those books that we learned from was a complete lie. Like, all this time I learned about this, it was a lie. I want to be able to choose if it's gonna be a lie. It's gonna be it's gonna be on my fault and not because I allowed somebody else to be their teacher. That's it. It's kind of simple, honestly. I'm willing to take that risk. But those are my reasons. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and I'll talk to y'all later.